Jesus freak here. Now, you know I don't like to dunk on the King James because it is a very good translation of the Bible. I'm not going to call it perfect. And there are places where it is obvious that the King James is translated from something other than the original languages. And just going to put this up for a few seconds. And I'll explain this in a few seconds. Now, what I showed you was the first half of 2 Corinthians 2:17. And I showed that there is no difference between the Textus Receptus and the critical text. They are letter for letter identical. There's some difference in the Byzantine text, but it doesn't affect the word in question. I also showed several Latin translations. And as you could see, Erasmus and Beza consistently translated the the word in question one way. The Vulgate translated it a different way. I don't speak Greek, so bear with me. It's going to be really horrible. But I think it reads something like this. O gar esmen os oi ploi capellion levuntes ton logo ton theo. And the Erasmus translated it as non enim sumus plerice calponantes verbum Dei, which translates to English, for we are not as most trafficking in the word of God. Beza similarly had non enim plerice calponum or simonem Dei, for we do not as most traffic in the word of God. The Vulgate, however, has non enim sumus sicut plurimi adulterantes verbum Dei, for we are not like the many, adulterating the word of God. And many people will note that the King James says corrupt, and the modern translations generally say peddle or traffic. Guess what? This isn't a matter of the difference between the Greek text. The actual explanation is that the King James is actually reflecting the Latin Vulgate here. Although I do believe that Beza noted that adulterate is a potential, I can't read his note, it's way too deep for me. I can barely read Latin as it is. But invariably the translators working in the 16th century seem to understand the Greek word to mean to traffic. And that's how they rendered it into Latin. So if people are saying, oh, they're following the critical text instead of the Textus Receptus, they don't know what they're talking about. Because there's no difference. And in fact, it's the King James Version that's divergent here. Jesus freak out.